welcome back to another video. It's Kid Tatiana here, and today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be sharing a story time with you guys. I don't really do story times on this channel, as you may already know, but as it's leading up to 2 years of living for Christ and giving my life to Christ and being submitted to him, which will be on the 23rd of this month, August, so that's like next week or so. I figured that I'll share bits and pieces. Like, I did a testimony documentary last year, but I figured I'd share bits and pieces in smaller portions about things that I've went through in the past, just so it can help someone else that's currently going through this or are trying to fight their way out of it, and just overall, just with prayers that it gives encouragement. I'm apologize in advance. My intentions are not to trigger anyone. So if you are triggered by abusive relationships, or if you are triggered by things of that sort, really, then just proceed with caution, really, just when listening to this video. Overall, my intentions for this video is to bring encouragement that if God can do it for me, he can do it for you. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's just jump right into it. So I'm gonna just like sit comfortable. So if you guys don't know, I gave my life to Christ August 2018, August 23rd to be exact, 2018. I actually have a nameplate right here, which was, I got this done just to remind myself Christ now. In the beginning, like, it was really hard. So anyway, story of another time. I don't know if you were not following me on Instagram, or if like you're not somebody that was close to me, you probably don't know that I was in a relationship with a girl for like over a year and a half. And what year was that? Like 2016 to 2017. I recently started telling my friends now about that story, and a lot of people can't believe like the things that I went through in that relationship, and overall, like, the difference of then and now. So I decided, like, why not share it? And yeah, so anyway, so in 2015 I was in a college. I graduated high school 2015, June 2015. It's been 5 years now, oh my gosh. But I graduated high school June 2015, and that same year I did go to college. That is also a story for another time, why I didn't stay in college. I was only there for literally like 3 months, and then I left. And during that time period, my mom actually was in the hospital, and it was just a lot for me going on, like mentally, physically, like it was just so much going on. And at this time, like, my mom and dad, same thing, had separated. So my dad was living at where we grew up at, and me and my mom lived somewhere else. And since that happened, my mom was in a hospital, I would go visit. So during this time I was home. It was like December 2015. I was home alone. This was my first time being home alone for so long. My mom was in the hospital. I was very scared of going outside due to like some issues that I had going on with that school, and like it was just a lot going on. So during that time, I was always home alone, like looking up ways to move to Los Angeles. Like, I just wanted to be out. So I remember this one day I was on Facebook, and Facebook is lit in Brooklyn, by the way. So a lot of people gonna be like, oh, Facebook, that was a long time ago, but like Facebook is still popping to some people. So that's besides the point. I had went on Facebook one day and was looking at, like, I think I was just scrolling through people's statuses and stuff, and I came across this girl that okay, what should I name her? I'm gonna name her Red, because I got a red box right there. So I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw Red's status, and it was like my status for To Be Honest or something like that. And I think they were like, oh, so this is what it was. Everybody was playing that game on Facebook, like my status for To Be Honest. So I liked mad people's status for that. So it wasn't just really her. So I like Red's status, and like she inboxed me, and we're like conversating, and like, you know, just, I don't really know her at all. Like, I've never seen her before. I don't even know how we got each other on Facebook. Never seen her, but we just like started speaking. And like I said, I was home alone. I was bored. I had nothing else to do. Like, I had nobody else to talk to. Like, my friends were back at school, so I was just like, just entertaining the conversation or whatever. So as conversations went on, I think, like she said, she's filming. So Red filmed a web show, and if you know her, you know who I'm talking about. If you know the person that I used to talk to back then, you know who I'm talking about, and you know what I'm talking about, what show she had. I'm not going to mention all of that because that's kind of giving away too many details. So she had a show, and she was like, I'm filming for this show, and I'd love for you to come. So now she said this was all the way in the Bronx, and I'm from Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn at that time, so I didn't drive either. So to get to the Bronx, that's like 2 hours on the train from East Flatbush all the way to the Bronx. So that's really far. So she invited me. She's like, you should come out, like, see like my web show. We're filming for the next episode, and da da da. And like, I was like, you know what, why not? Like, we're like playing around, like we're just being like really friendly. I wasn't thinking anything of it. I didn't think we were gonna get in a relationship. I didn't think nothing of it like that. So I was like, all right, if I could get somebody to come with me, because like back then you don't go see people without like your family members come in with you, or like a friend or whatever. So I asked one of my cousins, I'm gonna just call her cousin number one. I asked cousin number one to come with me to the video shoot or the filming, and she was like, yeah, I'll come. So we went, got there. It was like so many different people there, like that's a part of the web show. And I noticed once I got in, like, it was so much tension going on. I didn't know like what for, because I'm not a person that comes in a place like, what's up, I'm here. Like, I'm really calm, like I'm really cool. Like, I'll be like, hey, but like I'm not doing too much. I was probably a little bit different, but back then, no. Like, I definitely didn't go up into spots like all loud or whatever. So I got there, me and my cousin sitting down, and like my cousin sitting next to me. We on like a couch, and we like watching them, whatever. So me and my cousin texting back and forth. So my cousin number one that's sitting right next to me, she texts me, and she's just like, I noticed one of the girls that's there from somewhere. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, where you know her from? Because I've never seen these people a day in my life. Where you know her from? So she texts my other cousin number two. She texts her. We in a group chat, and was like, I think so and so is here. And she's like, so my cousin number two texts back in the chat, and she's like, Kia, do not. She's like, leave this girl alone. Like, she's no good. Leave her alone. So I'm thinking cousin number two is just being dramatic, and like, I've never been in a situation where something like this that I'm about to tell y'all happened. So I'm just like, you just being a little dramatic. Like, I don't like her. Like, I'm not trying to talk to her. Like, we're just cool. We're just friends. And she's like, kid, no, don't even be friends with her. Leave her alone. She's crazy. Like, leave this girl alone. And I can like, if I could like ask my cousin, like if I could call her right now, she would definitely tell y'all how crazy this girl was. So the same girl that I came to see, Red, she was like, she's like, hey, Kia, come with me to the hallway. She wants to talk to me like they were on break or whatever. Mind you, all of this is at like midnight. Like, it's dumb late outside, and we're all outside, like just chilling. And we're in the Bronx. So like, first of all, nobody goes to the Bronx. Sorry if you're from the Bronx. But I didn't feel safe being out there. So went out into like the hallway of the building that we was at, and we were like talking, but I noticed like she was kind of flirting with me. And the type of person I was before Christ, like I was kind of very flirtatious with anybody that I spoke to. So you would think that I like you, but I really don't. I'm just like, the way I spoke was just flirtatious. So I guess she took it as I'm flirting with her, but I really was just like, whatever. So we come back inside, and I noticed one of the girls so the girl, I'm gonna call her Edge Control. So we have Red, cousin number one, cousin number two, and Edge Control. Come back inside, sit back on the couch, and Edge Control sitting across from me, and she's just like staring me down, and like, like I can tell like she has a problem with me, y'all. Like, I'm looking like, what I do? But I noticed that's the same girl that cousin number two was telling me about in the chat. So cousin number two was telling me in the chat how Edge Control, she's very possessive over Red. And I'm like, okay, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, like that's her business. I'm just here being supportive or whatever. I don't know what I'm supporting, but I'm just being supportive. So I noticed it, and I started to feel uncomfortable. So I told Red, like, hey, we about to leave. And she's like, don't leave or whatever. And she's like, maybe we could hang out sometime. And like, boom, like, I think she gave me her number. Like, I gave her my number because we were communicating on Facebook this whole time. Gave her my number, or she gave me her number. And then we left. Me and my cousin left, and we went back to Brooklyn. Same day or same night, Red hit me up, and then we started like talking. So we started immediately, like, we started talking like a lot, like more than usual, like you would talk to somebody that you don't know. So we was kind of like getting to know each other. It was still nothing on my side. I never thought anything was gonna happen from it. It was just like small communication. So when we started talking was January 2016 when we started talking. So we spent Valentine's Day together, February 2016. So at this time, nobody in my family knew like I was kind of like talking to girls or anything like that. It wasn't something that I ever publicized. And she wasn't the first girl that I ever spoke to either. So it was all of these, like, that part of my life was always kept in private. It wasn't something that I ever shared. So I didn't bother, like, you know, my intentions, my plans were to never post her or anybody to ever find out about her. Only my cousins knew. So Valentine's Day come, I'm just gonna fast forward to this. So Valentine's Day comes. So from January to Valentine's Day, it was like beautiful. Like, it was amazing. I've never been with anybody at that time that showed me that kind of love. Like, it was just different for me in that time. So Valentine's Day, we like went to a hotel, and like I remember like she had brought me balloons and stuff like that, and I could not bring that inside because my mom did not know. So I was being sneaky. Obviously, I was still living with my mom at that time. I was being very sneaky, and we got a hotel, and we stayed at the hotel. She had like gifts laid out and stuff like that, and got there, was like, da da da, so cute. So we getting ready because we had a dinner in like the city. We was taking an Uber out there. So we getting ready and all that. We taking pictures, and after we taking pictures, I remember like I was recording a video in the mirror, and she was like standing like right there. And I'm recording a little video, and like every time like I got to the point where she was, I would like not record her for that, if you get what I mean. Like, I was avoiding recording her face or recording her body or anything like that. I was recording myself. So I turned the video off, and she was just like, you trying to hide me or something? And I'm like, no, like, it's just too soon. So I'll try to play it off like, no, it's just too soon to be like, you know, posting you. Like, it's not like that right now. We weren't even dating. Like, she never asked me or anything like that. So it was just like, it's too soon. But that was already like a red flag for me, because in the sense of, I was always kind of like a social media person. So she always felt like I was hiding her from people that I knew or people that I was talking to, even though that was the case. I was, but also on top of that, I didn't want my business out there either. Argued over that, so keep that in mind. We always argued over me not posting her, especially in the beginning. So this Valentine's Day, I ended up posting her because I'm like, you know what, she just did all of this for me, and I'ma just like post her because she's beasting right now. Posted her, and everybody, so we had Valentine's Day dinner, everybody in my family was just like blacking on me in my DMs on Facebook Messenger, commenting on the post. Like, I was getting death threats. It was just a hot mess, y'all. Like, a hot mess. Like, that whole night was ruined for me because I was just thinking about that. So I remember her saying, turn off your phone and like, let's just ignore all of that and just enjoy each other. So I was trying to while we was there, but it was just a lot. As time was going on, I was getting messages from Edge Control. Edge Control was the girl that was at the filming that day, and I noticed, like, you know, she was giving me like bad vibes, so ultimately. So I was just like taken back. Like, she sent me a message and she was like, hey, me and Red, almost said her name, me and Red go together. I kind of need you to like back off. She don't like you. I have to then whatever. So I've never been nothing like this. So she I read that message, and I'm like, girl, what you talking about? Like, me and Red is always together. So once me and Red, after Valentine's Day, me and Red was like this. Like, you always see me with her, I was always with her. Other than when she's filming, that's the only time we weren't together. Also a red flag, because she did not want me to hang out with my friends. She did not want me to hang out with my family. She did not want me doing anything that didn't include her being there. So, girl, me and her is all together. Like, she just left my house like 10 minutes ago. So I remember, like, she sent me photos of like the tattoos she has. She has Red name tattooed on her like neck, on her back, on her butt, on her arm, on her ribs. Like, she had this girl's name tattooed all over her body. So I remember feeling kind of hurt about it, because I'm just like, dang, like, do you really talk to her? Like, what's up? Like, what's really going on between y'all? Of course she denied it. Of course she said, oh no, she's just like being possessive. Like, we best friends now. We used to date back in the days, but we're best friends now, and it's not like that anymore. So I don't want you to think it's like that. It's really not like that. So I believed her, because I didn't have a reason not to believe her. It could just be like this girl is just being like the annoying ex. So time goes on, and Red, just like fast forwarding. So throughout this time, like, it was constant going back and forth with this girl, Edge Control, and Red. So I didn't really believe, I was being very naive at that time. I was young. I was like 19 years old. Red and this girl, Edge Control, they were like 24, 25 at that time. So they were very old. They're very much older than me. I was really young at that time. So my first like relationship. So I let a lot of things slide. I didn't really know. So fast forward, like, there's so many times that me and Red will argue, especially about this girl, Edge Control, and also because my mom did not. So my mom ended up finding out. My mom did not accept me being with the girl at all, and so she couldn't come over like that. But when my mom realized that she couldn't control or change my mind, she was like, all right, she could come over, but y'all just gotta have the door open, like certain stuff like that. So there was this one day that Red was over at my house, and like, I think her mom kind of like kicked her out or something like that, or like she was having issues with her parents. I don't remember what the reasons was, but she asked if she could sleep over, and I'm like, Red, you cannot sleep over. Like, you already know what my mom said. You already know how she feel about it. Like, you cannot do that. I still snuck her over that night. My mom used to leave for work at like 5 a.m. So I was able to sneak her over without, you know, just like, I had her on the floor, and like when my mom left, put her on the bed or whatever. Anyways, I went to sleep, and I think at this time, like, I had my Face ID on her phone, and for some reason I woke up that morning and I just like checked her phone for the time, but like, it unlocked the phone because of my face. Wait, was it? No, it wasn't Face. I'm sorry. It was Finger ID. Face ID wasn't a thing at that time. It was Finger ID. I had my finger in her Finger ID on her phone. So I unlocked her phone with my finger, and I seen she was texting like pizza girl, pizza guy, something like Domino's, something like that. And like something, it was something that's, why would you be texting a pizza place? Like, so it was something like that. I looked through the messages, and I seen she was speaking to Red. So I saw that, sorry, not Red. I saw Red was speaking to Edge Control. So she was saying to Red, Edge Control, like, I'm at work right now. I'm working overnights. And when I get off, I'll come see you. It's busy at work, and like, code, her at work was her at my house. So I'm reading it, and I went to sleep kind of early that night as well. So when she was texting her, I was asleep. And mind you, she asked to come over because she had nowhere to stay. And I literally disobeyed my mom to make her stay over at my house after my mom said no sleepovers. So I saw the messages, I saw them texting or whatever, and like, it was like getting very vulgar. It wasn't something like was appropriate at all for friendships, best friends. It wasn't appropriate at all. So I'm reading it, and I'm getting heated, y'all. I'm sitting on the bed looking at her sleep, and I'm getting heated. I've never been obsessed or like upset, like this. And at this point in our relationship, I was pretty much infatuated with her, like, because we spent all our time together. I didn't know nothing else but her at this time. So I was kind of like obsessed with her in a way. So I'm reading it and I'm getting heated. Like, I literally feel my body getting hot. Like, I'm getting like sick. So I'm reading it. So I got up. I'm like, I'm done with this stuff. Because, like, I'm telling y'all, we were going back and forth with this girl, edge control, for months. Like, it was just so much going on. But I'm going to lead to it. So I got up and I was kind of like pissed, right? I was pissed because of what I saw. She lied and said she was at work, but she's really in my house. And she said that when she leaves my house, which is when she leaves work, she's going to go over to Edge Control's house and see her or whatever. So I was like, all right, you want to go see her? Got up. I went to the kitchen and like we had like these butcher knives set. And the way she was laying down, like I sat on top of her and I had the knife and I was like pointing it at her forehead to like wake her up. So I was like scraping the knife like right here on her forehead. So she got up. After like pushing her, like nudging her a little bit, she gets up. Every time that I confronted her about something, she always said that was crazy, which the actions were crazy. I could have just left, all that. So she doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I haven't said anything yet. So I'm like, get up and get out. Like, I'm pissed. So the way my bed was very, very high off the ground. Like, I had 2 box springs, 2 mattresses, and like the bed frame up. So we like tussling. Like, she's trying to get the knife out my hand, and like I'm starting to cry, and I'm like, you are a liar. Like, I'm cursing her out. Like, I'm just like, seriously, like, are you like for real right now? Like, how are you really talking to this girl? So now I'm explaining to her like why I'm upset. How you really telling this girl you at work, but you don't got no job? Like, I don't understand. Like, where do you work? This girl don't have no job at all. She's working at this like Levi's for like 2 days, and then she quit because she couldn't do it. Like, I was giving her money from my checks at work. Like, with so much things like that. So we fighting, like going back and forth, and like we start like really physically fighting. We fell on the floor, and like we're still fighting with the knife in my hand, like going back and forth on the thing, whatever. And then she gets up and like runs out of my bedroom and runs in the bathroom and closes the door shut. So the doors we had in my old house, it was like wooden doors. So like I'm like, I know she's standing on because there's no lock on the door. I know she's standing on the door to hold it back. So I'm like stabbing the door, and the knife goes through the door and it like touches like right here, her shoulder. So she's screaming in the bathroom, like, why would you do that? You're crazy. She's like, you're nuts. We're not even talking. Like, trying to make it seem like she wasn't really talking to the girl at all when she really was. I saw it with my own eyes. So finally let it go because I know my mom was coming home very soon, and I threw her stuff outside. I'm like, get out. Like, just get out. Just go. Leave me alone. Like, we're done. I'm over this. Like, you stay lying to my face. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's wrong with you and this girl? Like, you said you wasn't talking to her. I believed you, and you're still doing this. And after I let you stay in my house, I felt extremely disrespected. Red often was in the hospital, and my dad went in the hospital April of this time as well. So a lot happened within January to April. So April of 2016, my dad, he had a stroke. So my dad had a stroke, and around that same time, Red went to the hospital because she had like a cyst in her ovaries or something like that. And I went to go see her and spend time with her. Mind you, I wanted to go spend time with my dad, but like she was in a hospital in the Bronx, my dad was in a hospital in Brooklyn, 2 separate places. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go see my dad, and like then I'm gonna come see you or whatever. Mind you, I'm working in the midst of all of this. I was working at the supermarket, whatever. So this day I'm working at the supermarket, and I'm like, babe, like my dad had a stroke. Oh wait, let's rewind. I missed something. Me and Red was on a date one day at a pier. The day that I found out my dad had a stroke, we was on a date at the pier, and like we went on a date because after all that happened at my house that day, so she wanted to talk about it. She wants to make it up, and like I kind of forgave her, kind of thing. We chilling at the pier or whatever. I remember we had like ice cream or something like that. And I remember telling her, like, look, like, if you're going to keep doing this, like, I really don't want to be back and forth. I don't want to be in the middle of you and somebody else. So if you really do like edge control, then, like, you can have her. But, like, just know that I'm hurt, like, that you're doing this. So she's like, no, like, I want you. I don't want her. Like, I had her already. She's not you. And da-da-da. Then I get a phone call from my sister-in-law that my dad had a stroke. Like my sister-in-law flipped the camera, I see my dad on the floor having a stroke. Like it was scary. And so I'm telling Red, so she's seen the whole thing because she's standing right next to me. And I'm like, I gotta go. We all the way on Chambers Street in Manhattan, gotta go back to Brooklyn. So I'm telling her, and she's just like, all right, go ahead, go. Went, got home. Now we'll get to the point where my dad was having a stroke. He's in the hospital. I went to go see him, but she had to go to the hospital as well because of the cyst. And with the cyst, like whenever we were out to eat, she couldn't eat certain things. Like certain things made her stomach hurt. Hot food made her stomach hurt. It was like so many different things, and she was always in pain like when we went out. So I'm like, you should go to the hospital, whatever. So this one time I'm at work and she texts me and she was like, oh, come see me when you get off. And I already had plans to go see my dad. So she's saying to me, like, she's like, you're mad grimy, you're mad messed up, like, because she gave me money like the other day to pay for something. It wasn't even for me. She gave me some money to go pay for something the other day, that I'm grimy, I messed up, that all she does for me. And when she say all she does for me, like we were going to hotels like every Saturday. Like we were spending every weekend at a hotel. Like ask me where she got the money from. I don't know. But we were always at hotels, and she felt like because we were always at hotels, she did so much for me. So she was calling me all out my name, how she's done with me, how I'm a HOE, how I be all in these dudes' faces, how I'm dead to her, how I mean nothing to her, like going crazy. So to really just like shut her up and like make her, like just shut her up, really. I didn't go see my dad in the hospital. I was so sad about it because at that time, like they said that they don't know if my dad was gonna live. Like he had a very massive stroke and heart attack at the same time, and it's only God that he's still here. So I was pretty upset. Went there to see her. Boom. So she's like, oh, stay the night with her at the hotel in the Bronx. I didn't have no clothes. I had work in the morning. I didn't have no toothbrush. I had nothing. I didn't take a shower, none of that. And I decided to stay with her because she wanted me to stay with her. So I was like, I gotta go to work. Like I can't like be missing these days. Like I didn't even call out. So I was like, I don't know, I'll probably come see you like the weekend or something like that. So I said that, and then the next day I went to work. I ended up leaving work early for whatever reason, I don't remember. So I was like, you know what? I went home, go change. I brought clothes, I brought food for her, and I went up to the hospital, and I was gonna spend the night there. I brought stuff for her. I surprised her, really. She didn't know I was coming. So since I was already at the hospital already, and the nurses and stuff already knew me, got up there, and like I already knew where to go, what room she was in, and all of that. And they didn't really have to notify her that I was coming because I had my name down, like I was her girlfriend or whatever. So got there, and I got up to the room, and I'm hearing like, so like the curtain divides like the bed from the area of the room. Got there, and I'm hearing like giggling. So I'm like, what's she laughing at? Like, but I'm still trying to be sneaky because I'm like, I'm about to surprise her. She doesn't know I'm coming and all that. And got in there, and I opened up the curtain, and I see Edge Control laying in bed with her. So my heart sank, you guys. Like my heart sank. Like I was angry, I was hurt, I felt betrayed. Like, bruh, here I am walking in with a whole bunch of stuff for us, and just to like make her smile because of like the other day. Mind you, like I didn't even have to do that. I could have went to go see my dad. I don't know why I did that. I could have just went to go see my dad, but like because she felt like, which is all manipulative, she felt like because I didn't want to come see her that day at that time because I went to go see my dad, I'm all these negative things to her. Like I don't mean nothing to her, so I wanted to make it up to her. Got there, saw her lay in the bed and whatever. They were both shocked because they both didn't expect me to come. But the way they were laying in bed, it was like cuddly. So I was pissed, you guys. I was so upset. Like I like acted out in anger. I like pulled the stuff down, was hitting them. Like she was hooked up to tubes and stuff. Like I was hitting them. Like it was like a whole little brawl in there. Doctors came, pulled us out, and they were saying like I had to leave, and I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. And I was like, you know what, actually, then I had to change my mind. I was like, actually, I'm gonna go. So Red is like, no, she can stay. She was like, Edge Control, you leave. So Edge Control was all sad and like crying and all that about like I came here to see you. I've been with you through all these years of you having this cyst, and that's how you're gonna treat me for this new girl, and like a whole bunch of things like that. I still ended up staying, you guys. I still ended up staying in the hospital room with her, even though that just happened. I could have just left, you guys. I could have just left, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't listen. And mind you, cousin number 2 told me in the beginning to leave Red alone because Red and edge control had a thing going on, but I didn't listen to her. 5 months going on that I've been dealing with this ongoing thing with this third girl, or the second girl. So as time went on, and like she was still always in and out the hospital and all of that. One day that we went on like a double date with one of Red's friends and her girlfriend. And I don't really need to name them because I'm not gonna talk about them that much. But we went to Buffalo Wild Wings this one day, and we all chilling at the Buffalo Wild Wings, sitting there talking. And me and Red was having like issues, like we were tension at the table. Like they can tell, like her friend and her friend's girlfriend could tell for sure. So sitting there, got in the car to leave, and like Red just kind of had this like episode, and this often happened where she was just like, I'll kill us both. Like this, she often said that, and she often said like, say I won't do it. But this one day it was just like so annoying, and I was so annoyed, and I didn't want her to be with anybody else. I didn't want to be with anybody else. I really wanted her, but like she was just so crazy. She's always lying, she's always cheating. And this one day we was in the car, and she's just like, say I won't. So we driving on the highway. She's like, say I won't flip this car over, like crash into something like that, she said. So I was like, do it. Like, do it. But mind you, like, I was saying it, but I know I didn't believe her, like, that she was going to do that, because she always said things like that. And, like, we always argued and said things like that. Like, when I argued with her, I'll be like, I'll kill myself. Like, I would say things like that. She would say things like that. So it was kind of normal, because we very toxic, very normal to us in a toxic relationship. I didn't think nothing of it. So we driving, and she literally goes to crash, and like as she's going to crash, I'm like pulling the car this way. Thank the Lord there was nobody on this highway, y'all. It was late at night. It was probably like 1 a.m. There was nobody outside, and we crashed. We almost crashed, literally so close to crashing. Then the car like spins around, and like she's like literally, it was like she was being possessed by a demon. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like as we were driving, like her eyes are bulging out of her head. She's screaming, she's cursing me out, she's trying to hit me while she's driving. I'm trying to hit her back, trying to hold the wheel. Like it was so much going on, and I'm like, let me out this car, get me out this car. She's like, no, you're not going nowhere. I'm gonna bring you home. I'm gonna bring you home when I feel like I'm gonna bring you home, and all of that. So long story short, like praise God that we're still here, that I'm still here, that she's still here, and got home. So fast forward, I was done. Like I was completely done with her. I didn't want nothing to do with her. She's gonna be that crazy, but I wasn't done enough in my heart. Like I was still there in my heart. It was a huge soul tie, clearly. So then another time happened where she slept over, found out she was texting the girl again. And then Labor Day happens, and we got back together around, actually July 4th, I'm missing it. It was Independence Day. And that thing with the car just happened, and I was really, really upset about it. I was really done. And then like I saw she posted, or like the girl, Edge Control, posted a picture of them. It was like, I'm here for you, like I'm always be there for you, like something like that. So I was really sad. Like that day, like I called her on the phone, and I really like cried. Like I've never cried that much over her ever since we've been together. Like it was like a, why would you do this to me kind of cry. So she was like, come over and we could talk about it. Y'all know what that means. Went over to her house, all the way to the freaking Bronx, guys. I went all the way to the Bronx just to cry, literally just to cry. I was so hurt. I couldn't believe like she continuously did this to me after like I felt like I was giving her everything of me. Like I literally gave it all to her. I gave up my friends, I gave up my relationships with people, I gave up my job. I quit my job to be with her in the hospital, y'all. I gave up everything, and it felt like nothing I was doing was enough. She was still cheating, she was still acting like this. So I was just like, I don't know if I want to be with you anymore. So like I was slowly getting to the place where I wanted to check out of this relationship, but I couldn't, because like we were like so infatuated with each other. We couldn't go like a second of the day without talking to each other, which was very terrible. We couldn't have a life out of each other. So Labor Day rolls around, the first Monday in September, and Labor Day is really big in Brooklyn, like the Labor Day parade, and I decided I'm gonna go spend Labor Day with my friends, and she's gonna go with her friends. Now she said that she was going with her friend, the one that was at the Buffalo Wild Wings that day, and I was cool with that girl, so I'm like, oh, you could go hang out with her. She never said anything about edge control being there. On Labor Day, we're in the Parkway, like having a good time with my friends or whatever, and walking. I see Red dancing with somebody. So now we set rules before going to the Parkway. We said that we weren't going to be dancing with nobody else. We said that we were just going to go hang out with our friends, eat, dance, music, whatever. But we said that we were not going to be dancing with anybody else because that's disrespectful. Walking with my friends, one of my friends said, "That's not Red." So I snapped my neck so hard. I'm like, no. And I'm like, I see Red dancing with edge control, like some disgusting type of dancing. They on the floor kind of dancing, y'all. And I saw with my own eyes. I didn't even have like the balls to walk up to her and say anything. So I kept walking. I was pissed that whole time. But I took a picture. I screen recorded a video that I saw on Snapchat from her friend she wasn't my friend though. So her friend that we saw at Buffalo Wild Wings, I would end up being cool with her, but she didn't owe me any loyalty kind of thing. So I saw her Snapchat story and I recorded it, and just for proof, because I know Red was gonna lie and say like, no, you didn't see me, whatever. So I was pissed. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Girl, you done. You're done for. Like, I'm over it. So I didn't even say nothing to her. Mind you, her stuff was at my house. So she had to come back to my house to get her stuff. Texted her. I'm like, hey, yo, like, I'm out. Like, I don't know where you at, but I'm gone. So if you don't, like, I don't know what you about to do. I don't know how you gonna get inside the house, whatever. She's like, all right, I'm gonna come. We gonna meet, whatever. We met. And, like, she's all up on me, like, kissing me and stuff. Like, I missed you. Like, don't know that I saw the video. So I got there and went back to the house, and I was done. Like, I was like, all right, acted like nothing ever happened, act like I never saw it, and I was done. So fast forward, I blocked her and everything, y'all. I was completely done at this moment. I blocked her and everything, and she just like, lost it. Like, this never happened where I blocked her and everything. So my cousin number 2 texts me. She's like, check Red's Facebook status. I'm like, I don't got Red on Facebook, so screenshot it. She screenshotted it, and Red posted like a confirmation ticket for Expedia to go on a cruise, a flight, all of this. And she was like, tag Kia in this post. I miss her. I love her. I did her wrong. Y'all tag her. She had mad people tagging me underneath that post, saying how much she loves me, how much she cares for me, how much she's sorry. She's like, she feels like I left for good, and she can't make it up, and like she want to make it up and whatever. So she booked like 8-day cruise, y'all, to go on to Mexico and Key West, Florida, and all of that. So I wasn't gonna go. I'm like, that's your business. You want to spend your money to go on a cruise? I'm not going with you. I was done. Like, I was over it. I'm tired of being like this stomping ground. Like, I was just over it. Like, all we did is fight. All we did was argue. We don't agree on nothing. You still cheating. Like, there was just so many things going on. And so it was when this email thing popped up, when people tagged me and stuff, that was like September, and this cruise was for October 16th. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was October 16th. No, I'm sorry, it was October 10th. So we still had about a month before, like, anything was gonna happen, like if I decided to go or like anything like that. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that I never said anything terrible towards her as well. I definitely degraded her character as she did the same to me. It was very unhealthy, very toxic, but I was so attached to this girl. I decided to go on the cruise, and the cruise was terrible. Felt like it was the longest cruise of my life. No reception, no service to the outside world. We argued every day that we was on a cruise. The first night of the cruise, I cried. because I felt like we weren't the same anymore. We had like the beds, a big bed, and we had them come separate the beds for us. I felt like we were distancing, like it was a lot. Like I cried that whole time there. I'm like, why did I come? And on the cruise, I remember I was vlogging, turned up the camera, and we started arguing like crazy. And we like exchanged like so many harsh words to each other. And in that moment, she was just like, I wish you never existed. I said, I wish you never existed. Boat docked in Cozumel. I'm sorry if this video is very long, but we got to Cozumel, Mexico, got off the boat. She rented a bike, and we rode to a beach, got food, and da-da-da. Got there, and so we're still not speaking like at all on this cruise, y'all. It's so awkward. It's terrible. It's nothing like how it used to be. We're fighting even in Mexico, y'all, like fighting, like, but we're trying to get along for the sake of we're on vacation together. So got there and left the beach resort thing that we was at for the day, riding back to the boat. So the boat left at a certain time. If you didn't make it, you're getting left. Got there, we heard the boat siren horn thing from far off where we're at. Our bike breaks down, y'all, and now I felt like I was in a movie. Our bike broke down, and I'm like, it's all your fault. Like, you wanted to just get a bike. We could have just got a cab or something like that. And she's just like, F you. Like, you always trying to be in control of things. Like, just leave it alone. Like, we're just standing there, we're arguing, like on the side of a road. Not even a road. Like, it was like a forest. And waving people down. Like, barely anybody was passing, though. Somebody came. God bless him. He came and he gave us his bike so we could get back, because we told him, like, if our boat leaves, we're gonna be stuck here. All our stuff are on the boat. We don't live in Mexico, we live in America. Like, all of this, I'm crying, y'all. Like, I'm crying. Got back to the boat, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. I can't deal with this. And so long story short, like, the rest of the time that we were there, it was just like very awkward. Like, we, at this point, it was like we weren't even friends. We were just like roommates. I got back home, and she spent the night at my house when we came back, because I think our flight was like late at night. She spent the night at my house, and that night things happened that it shouldn't have happened. And in the morning she woke up and she was like, oh, we should just like get back together, because like we really do love each other. And I was like, all right, we can get back together. We got back together, and then Christmas time rolls around, and I found out that she went over the top for the girl Edge Control's Christmas gifts. Like, she went out for her, like that was her girlfriend or something. And I was really hurt. I found out again through somebody's Snapchat story. I was very hurt, because we just decided we was gonna get back together. And like, at this point, I'm like, girl, like, I could have been left you. Why you keep telling me to be back with you? And then I told her, like, I feel like every time you realize I'm about to move on, you ask me to be back with you just for you to go back and cheat. And it's really because she didn't want me to be with anybody else. And she said that out her mouth. She was like, I cannot be with anybody else if I'm not with her. She was like, she'll kill me and she'll kill them. And I believed her. Christmas gifts at her friend's house, and I was like, all right, we're gonna part ways. So I ended up moving that next year, 2017. My dad moved back with us, and since he moved back with us, she couldn't come over anymore because there was no way to hide her there. So she came over once, and I'm like, I don't think, she came in through the window at that. And I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work, because like, you can't come here like at all. Like, everybody is now in my house. My brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, my niece, my dad, my mom. Before it was just me and my mom. So like, now it's all of us back in the house. There's no way for you to be sneaking here. So I was like, I still want to see you. We can still hang out. And she wasn't with that, like, at all. She was really using me for a place to stay, if y'all don't get it. So so yeah, like 2 days later, I feel like we were like getting back closer. We spent Valentine's Day again in 2017 together, which was very different from the previous year. But I felt like, well, we both stated that we were working on things, that we were working to like be better together and all of that. Then one day come, and she's like, I'm not really interested in you anymore. I met this girl and we're dating now. Y'all, strippity, that's call me that. I was hurt. I was hurt. Like, she called me on the phone, she said that, I hung up literally, and blocked me on everything. And that's when I realized that she was only staying with me because she didn't have nobody else yet. And because I was almost moving on, she tried to block me from moving on. But the minute she moved on, then she's like, all right, deuces, adios, it was fun, bye. No explanation. She blocked me on everything. Literally everything she blocked me on. I couldn't find her. I was hurt. I was heartbroken. Then I got into another relationship right after that, which I was very toxic to that person because of what I've just been through. I didn't give myself time to heal. I couldn't be alone. I was so hurt. All I did was talk about her in that next relationship. So yeah, guys, this is the end of the video. I just really wanted to spread encouragement because I know so many people that go through these type of abusive, manipulative relationships, feel like they don't have no way out. I know some people go through way worse. However, just know that you have a God that loves you absolutely so much, that keeps you through these things, and to know that you have a love that, like God, that no other person, no person in this world can ever give you. I felt like this girl loved me so much, but she betrayed me. So as time went on, I felt like there was no such thing as love because she told me she loved me, and that's what I knew love to be. And I defined love as what she gave me. And it wasn't until I came to Christ it wasn't until Christ found me and I realized, like, wow, this is a love like I never had before. This is a love like wow, like, you love me. Like, that's crazy. Like, God was not gonna like me because, like, look what I've been doing. Like, I've been, like, you know, just doing everything that he says that I shouldn't be doing, and I knew it was wrong, but I felt like if God loves me, he would accept me the way I am. And I thought that, and just, yes, God loves me, and yes, he accepts me the way I am, because look where I am now. But I really want to give encouragement to anyone who's struggling in a relationship, an abusive verbal relationship. Please reach out to someone. Please don't compromise your sanity. Please don't compromise what you deserve for someone that's treating you less than what you deserve. You are valuable to God. The Lord says in scripture that us as women are far more worth than rubies, and rubies are expensive, y'all. So we are treasure. We are his gold. He sees us as such, so we need to treat ourselves as such, right? So I just pray that this gives anyone encouragement. I thank the Lord for delivering me from homosexuality. I praise the Lord for delivering me approval of others, from validation of others. I constantly sought my identity. I constantly sought my sought validation from my relationship, especially with her. She was all I knew. It was a mess. And yeah, so that's the end of this. If you want to know more about, like, my transition outside of this relationship, then let me know down below if this is something that you want to see. I'm sorry this is very long, but this is a story that, you know, is very real and something that I went through, and I really want to be more transparent. Thank you guys for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you in my next one.